Hello everyone and welcome back to another World of Tanks console video. My name is Enos Hatch and today we're going to be delving into the full details of the Tank Bull as released from Wargaming. This was actually released I believe yesterday for Thursday, I want to say, what was the date? The 11th. This was released on the 11th of January, concerning all the details about Tank Bull. Now, I had previously made a speculation video on the Tank Bull, so if you hadn't had a chance to check that out, just do that. Everything I covered in that and in the speculation video ended up becoming exactly accurate as far as the tanks that are going to be participating, how to participate, as well as the way for your team to win. Don't forget, just going over this quickly before we watch the video, if you didn't get a chance, this year's prize tank, which was one of the most things I wasn't able to speculate on. This year's prize tank is a Champion M4 Sherman. Now, the unique thing about this M4 Sherman is it does not have a designated nation yet. The winner of the tank poll becomes its designated nation, so you can have a Russian M4, which is actually very funny considering that PC just released one, I think like Thursday, a Russian M4 Sherman. Or you can have a premium variant of the M4 Sherman here. I did go back to check onto PC on Tanks GG, and they actually have a tier 5 premium improved M4 Sherman, which I believe this tank will be based off. That just comes with better mobility. However, it does come with the tier 4 75mm gun that the M4 Sherman currently has, which has 95mm of penetration and 110 damage. But that's just to give you a heads up as far as some of the smaller details that are not currently mentioned about this. I could be wrong in that aspect, but just basing it off of the premium tank that they have there, I'm pretty sure that's what the M4 Sherman will be, just an improved Sherman. M4 Sherman, and I'll try to leave a link in the description down below for you to check out some of the stats. Again, I can't really give you full details on it. It's just that was the tier 5 premium that PC currently has. So without further ado, let's go check out the Tank Bull 2018 video that console has released. So there you have it, Tank Bull 2018 coming to a great start as far as my my own personal opinion of January 2018 or 2018 year, with the T26E5 and the Patriot, the T26E5 Patriot and the Object 252U Defender making their way onto console in the 2018 year. Before we go over to the actual Tankopedia entries of those tanks, just a quick heads up if you didn't watch the speculation video, how do you participate in this year's Tank Bowl? Just a refresher if you didn't catch that previous video. If you didn't, you can always go back and check that out. I went off on a pretty much insane 20-minute long video. Just check it out if you have the time. Don't miss tryouts. Tryouts is important for your tank. You need for your participation in Tank Bowl. You need to complete the tryouts op in order to earn your entry into the Tank Bowl itself. To participate, you'll first need to complete tryouts. Earn points towards the tryouts op by being the top XP earner in your team while commanding either American or Soviet Tier 3 vehicles or higher. Once you've completed tryouts for one of the teams, USA or USSR, that's the team you'll be fighting for in the main event. Plus, if you get through tryouts early, you'll receive a special team bonus of extra experience and silver for each victory while commanding vehicles, also Tier 3 or higher, of your team's nation. Then on February 1st, the Tank Bowl 4-day main event begins, and the winning nation's player will receive the champion M4 Sherman. The prize tank's nation depends on which nation wins. So the tryouts will start from the 15th and will carry us all the way through the 1st when the tank will actually start. So if you get a head start and complete the tryouts op, you're able to get those premium or those added consumables, or not consumables, but added bonuses for each game you play in those nations. 1 point for for the top 6 to 10 XP earners. 2 to 5 will get 3 points, and the top XP earner will get 5 points. So that's actually interesting. The top 6 to 10 XP earners in the game, which means I don't know, this isn't specifying if it's just on your team or in the game itself. In that case, the top 10, at least the top 10 players in experience will be rewarded with points. The team bonus will be each win will give you a 1.25 added experience, as well as a 1.25 silver bonus for each win with driving either a USA vehicle or a USSR vehicle. The Tank Bowl starts on February 1st with Quarter 1, February 2nd with Quarter 2, February 3rd with Quarter 3, and February 4th with Quarter 4. The top 5 experience earners are the only ones that will actually earn any points for their nations. The top 4 to 5 XP earners will earn 1 point. The top 2 to 3 XP earners will earn 3 points, and the top XP earner of the game will earn 5 points towards a completion. 15 points earns you 1 completion, and you will get a participation medal. Keep this in mind if you want to be able to receive any of the rewards. For Tank Bowl, you at least need 1 completion and a participation medal on your account in order to be credited the M4 Champion Sherman. That was stated as by the developers on the Thursday live stream, that you at least need 1 completion for your nation to earn that. However, if you manage to get 110 points, and you can earn yourself the MVP medal, whether your team wins or loses, you keep these medals. However, if you're on the losing team, you get to use that MVP medal to get discounts on the Champion M4 Sherman bundle that Wargaming will be selling, I assume after the event is over. Yep, from the 2nd to the 6th. I assume this ends on the 6th. That's when the bundle will be available. So enough of the Tank Bowl stuff. Again, if you want to catch up on any of the stuff mentioned before, just go check out the speculation video. I'll try to leave a link in the description down below. So the Object 252U Defender makes its way on the console, and we can look at a little bit into the stats. Now, just a heads up, this is a quick look into the tanks, as the full tank reviews for these tanks will be going out within the week that these tanks are released. I plan on purchasing them myself right away to be able to do the tank reviews for you guys. Normally I wouldn't have to, I'd be able to get the loans from Wargaming. However, I want these for my own account, so I'll be using that. I'll be using my credit card just to swipe away and get these tanks for myself, and I'll be giving you guys the full tank reviews for those to know, to give you opinions on them, as well as to let you know if they should be purchased or not. And at least the Patriot should be, just giving a heads up. America all the way, guys. America all the way. So the Defender, you have a tier 9 engine on the Defender with a tier 8 turret armor. However, it comes with its own unique turret. The Object 252U Defender turret, tier 8. I don't know how thick the armor would be. 250 on the front, 150 on the side, 100 on the rear. That seems pretty dependable as far as hold down goes. It does get a 122mm BL-13 gun, a tier 9 122, and as we can see, it gets a standard AP round of 225mm of penetration with a 440 alpha damage. At tier 9, this has become, with a tier 9 gun, this tier 8 tank has become the highest damaging heavy tank in its premium heavy nation. I think most of the, let's see, 440. Is there anyone that does that? No, the other ones are 390 and 300, 320. Nope, that is the highest, 440. 265 on his APCR still gives you 440 alpha. 68 millimeters of penetration will give you 530 damage if you manage to penetrate that rounds. However, one of the things that I truly despise about the tank will obviously be the ammunition capacity, as I feel like when they do 30 rounds in a tank, although with that 440 it goes a lot always longer than the other tanks. 30 rounds of ammunition always feels low, and I have that problem with the IS-6, the IS-6, the IS-5, and the IS-3A. At most, each of those tanks carry 30 rounds, with I think the follow line being limited to 28. So the rate of fire, of course, will be abysmal. Having that huge 122 on it, it does get a 3.87 rounds a minute. So I believe that would leave the reload at around, I'd say 12 seconds. I want to say it's 12 seconds. Might be a little bit higher or lower depending, but more than likely you'd be able to get that up to like about 4.25 rounds a minute, depending on your crew and whether or not you choose to use the nation consumable. You might be able to bump it up to 4.35. That all depends, but that rate of fire again should help it because the ammunition is low, so that always helps when it's like that. However, that alpha damage is definitely one of the more sought after things in as far as the tier 8 heavy Russians go. However, the downside to this obviously will be that the Russian biased, and it can't help it with its poor view range. I say Russian biased because you'll never know. You really won't. This tank does not get preferential matchmaking, unfortunately for it. And its premium bonus for silver is 50%, along with its experience bonus only being 10%. So as far as tier 8 goes, the only thing really carrying the defender in this case would obviously be that gun. That tier 9 gun having 225 millimeters of penetration, 440 alpha, definitely puts it in a league of its own compared to the other tier 8 heavies. And I will have to revisit the comparison sheet and add this one on just to see how it stacks up and just give you a video of what the best tier 8 heavy Russian tank in the game is. That'll be at a later date, of course. I want to at least be able to try this tank out for a while before I give my full rundown as far as comparing it to the other tanks go. So, the Patriot T26E5. The tier 8 tank, unfortunately, I feel kind of lacks a little bit. This is one of the more depressing things. It only gets a 90mm gun. That leaves you with some decent penetration, 230 on its APCR round. Now, I said APCR round because the standard ammunition on this tank is actually APCR. The premium ammunition is again APCR. That bumps it up to 259, and 45 millimeters of penetration on its HE rounds will give you 320. This is where I feel it lacks. The Patriot only has 240 on its 90mm. I feel like I should have had a tier 9 90mm, bump it up to at least 280 or 260. You know, give it a little bit of a high boost compared to the other ones. However, that means that the T34 does maintain its highest alpha as far as the American heavy premium goes. Still not a bad addition as far as the T26E5, one of the most requested tanks of 2016 to come onto console. I'm glad to see 2018 has it being introduced, and right at the start of the year too. So, with a base, the 90mm, one of the best things will probably be that base rate of fire at 8.33. That's definitely going to be helping. You'll be able to put the DPM, that'll probably solid around 2,400, I believe. I might be lowballing that a little bit, but still a great overall APCR with 230 millimeters of penetration. You're definitely going to be able to get some shots in. Unfortunately, it is able to see tier 10, so keep that in mind when you're going. However, as far as comparing it with the PC, I feel like there's a little bit of variance. On PC, it's definitely one of the more played tier 8 heavies. and it's able to troll a little bit with its turret. I believe this is kind of similar to that of the T-32 turret. Really should take a closer look at that. The turret on it has 191 on the front, 114 on the sides, and 127 on the rear. That's one of the more odd-sided millimeters as far as the turret goes. I can't wait to see it in the actual armored model viewer in-game. The front of the hull will be 152, 76 on this side, and 51 on the rear. So yeah, that kind of reminds me of the T-32. Maybe it's the upgraded version as far as the T-26E4, and we all know how trollish that thing can be if you don't know the weak spots. Speed limit will be at 40.2, so this tank will be able to actually zoom around a little bit. I didn't check out the speed on the 35 kilometers. 252 Defender carries that standard Soviet speed. However, does get a bit of good hull traverse, so being able to actually turn your tank to be able to get some shots in on those tanks that are circling you. Ammunition was at 70, so being able to customize your loadout a little bit better will probably help. 5 rounds of HE is always good for a 90 mil. Probably around 10 or 15 rounds of APCR premium rounds, and again 230 millimeters of penetration is still pretty decent. So the majority of that will still be your standard AP round, or APCR round, sorry. The premium bonus, however, is where I think this tank excels at compared to the Defender, and this might edge it out as far as being purchased more. 57% on silver and 15 on experience. That definitely edges out the Defender, and I feel like they did this on purpose so people would start picking the American tanks over the Russian, but Russian bias is always heavy in this game. So as far as the tank pool expected outcome, a lot of people currently are voting for Russian, as that's apparent on the forums, but I feel like the Defender might help that, or the purchase of the Defender and the Patriot. Their in-game play will definitely sway the bar for this. The Patriot has been, again, like I said, one of the most requested tanks of the year, and now that it is on console, we'll be seeing a lot more of it on the battlefield. So again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below. I know a lot of the stuff I talked about previously in the speculation video, but I wanted to touch upon some of the stuff that is more confirmable now, as well as speculate on the Champion M4 stats. I know not a lot of us are excited about the M4 Sherman. Give and take. I was kind of looking for at least a Thunderbolt or something. Not really a difference. It's still a Sherman. I remember someone posted in one of the comments, he has enough Sherman tanks to invade Poland, which was a hilarious joke. I almost fell out my chair laughing for that one. Good on you, because that one really did get me. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was very informative this time around for you, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good night.
Without you.